What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Saturday, April 26th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate and all 4 NBA playoff games. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Friday looks like it's going to be an okay but weird day for us, guys. Our first 2 plays of the day, the Tigers and the Guardians, both those games got rained out. They're going to be double headers in this video, so we'll be taking a look at game 1 of each of those double headers. We had the Reds minus 140, a solid win there on a crazy 8-7 game, so we'll take that. We also had Paolo Banchero over 1.5 made threes. He cashed that in the first quarter, so a very easy win there. Unfortunately, guys, we take our first loss here in the history of the dog of the day category. Now, obviously, betting underdogs, that's going to happen eventually. The Brewers were in kind of a brutal travel spot. They end up taking a tough 3-2 loss there. They threatened lots of times late in that game, just couldn't get anybody across the plate. So that plus 110 play does not come through. Now, we are looking good right now in terms of our massive lock of the day. We had the Sacramento Athletics at minus 230, and they end up hopefully winning this game. They're up 5-3 going into the bottom of the 8th. So hopefully they can come through for us and give us a pretty handy 3-1 day. Now, obviously a little bit short on wins, short on losses too, obviously, because of those 2 games getting postponed. So we will be getting back to work here in this one, guys. Let's go ahead and hop into our first game of the night. We're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Blue Jays come into this day game fresh off of a 4-2 win there in game 1. We saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr. shushing the New York crowd after hitting that home run. So yeah, Kirk also hitting a go-ahead 2-run double in the 9th to help him get that win. So pretty good stuff there for the Blue Jays, who desperately needed a win. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Kevin Gausman. He's 2-2 this year, a 3.16 ERA. His last start, he got knocked around a little bit there by Houston, so not his best stuff, but his 4 starts prior to that were all very, very reasonable and had some good starts against some tough outfits. So definitely, I think Toronto's feeling pretty good about him out there on the mound. Now, the bullpen situation for Toronto, not as bad as last season, guys. A 3.59 bullpen ERA. Definitely playable there. The offense coming off a game where they put up 4 runs looks good compared to what they've been doing recently, which has been slumping very aggressively. Now, they're currently sitting in 25th in the majors in runs scored and 27th in slugging percentage. Now, they are a very good batting average and very good on base percentage team, so I do think eventually we'll see this offense come around. Now, will that be happening here in game 2 against the Yankees? We'll have to wait and see, guys. The Yankees 15-11 coming into this one. They have dropped 3 out of their last 4. They're hitting the ball to Max Fried, who's 4-0 this season, a 1.42 ERA. He has been absolutely dealing. His last start was at Tampa Bay. He went 7 2/3 innings, gave up 2 hits and no runs. We also see that the Yankees are 5-0 in games that he started this season. That's pretty wild, and he's given up a grand total of 5 earned runs over those 5 starts. So yeah, no negative things to say about Max Fried. Bro is killing it out there. The Yankees bullpen is also looking excellent, a 3.34 bullpen ERA. For sure, very, very solid. So loving all that for the Yankees, no doubt about it. Now, the offense comes into this game. They've been spluttering a little bit. I mean, 2, 5, 2, 4, and 4 runs over their last few is not the normal level for the Yankees, but Aaron Judge still out there batting over 400 with 7 home runs and 26 RBIs. That's bonkers. The Yankees are the 2nd highest scoring team over the course of the season in terms of runs total. Also, their slugging percentage tops in the league, so I don't think this is an offense we need to worry about too much. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Blue Jays are plus 150. The Yankees are minus 180. We've got a total out there of 8.5. Toronto 5-8 on the road, 16-9-1 to the under. The Yankees are 8-5 at home, 12-2 to the over/under. First up, guys, I think under 8.5 is certainly live in this game. Now, I'm not necessarily loving Kevin Gausman here against the Yankees, but we'll see what he can do. This offense has not been hitting the ball well recently. Now, in terms of a side, the Yankees being such massive favorites does give me a little bit of reason for pause here, but Max Fried on the mound, I kind of just think you got to close your eyes and take the Yankees here. Now, this could theoretically qualify for our big lock of the day because it's such an expensive price, but probably this is just going to end up being a stay away spot for me if we can find greener pastures. Next up, guys, we're looking at game 1 between the Baltimore Orioles and the Detroit Tigers. The Orioles come into this game 10-14 on the year. Game 1 of the series obviously getting postponed, and now they'll be playing a doubleheader. This is going to be basically a recap of a pick we were trying to put in the pinned comment for yesterday, and it's got a very good chance to end up in the pinned comment today. But we see the Orioles handing the ball to Brandon Young. He's not figured in a result this season. He's sitting with a 6.75 ERA. his one start this year. He got knocked around a little bit by Cincinnati. Now, he got tons of run support, and we eventually saw Baltimore win that game 9-5, but it wasn't really his fault, and he didn't look that great out there. So we'll see if he's got a bounce back in him here. We'll see if that Baltimore Orioles bullpen can kind of rally. They're actually not doing very well recently, bottom 7 in the majors, I think 23rd overall with a 4.48 bullpen ERA. Certainly problems brewing there. The offense has also been very mediocre this season. They're coming off of a game where they scored 2 runs. They scored 2, 3, 0, 2, and 9 runs over their last few. They were on the wrong side of that 24-2 beat down there from the Reds. We see Cedric Mullins off to a decent start, but nobody else really wowing us. They're 24th in the majors in batting average and 24th in the majors on base percentage, getting on base at a 296 clip. So not a lot of good stuff to say here about Baltimore. They're taking on the Detroit Tigers, who just won 2 out of 3 against the Padres, so that's a good look. They're hitting the ball to Casey Mize, who's 3-1 this year, a 2.22 ERA. Now, he did have one bad start against Minnesota, and that was on the road at Minnesota, but other than that, bro has been lights out this season. Hasn't given up more than 1 earned run in any start aside for that one against the Twins, including a nice start against the Yankees. So expecting very good stuff from Mize here. Also expecting great stuff from that Tigers bullpen. A 2.70 bullpen ERA is crazy good. 4th, 5th best in the majors, something like that. And the offense has been drastically improved. They scored 6, 0, 6, 3, and 3 runs over their last few games. Guys like Spencer Torkelson off to a good start. Zach McKinstry hitting the ball well. They're 11th in the majors in runs scored and 11th in on-base percentage, and they're top 10 in batting average. So, yeah, a lot of positive stuff right now. It's looking really good for the Tigers. They're minus 120 in this game. The Orioles are plus 100. We've got a total of 8.5. Baltimore 5-8 on the road. 13, 8, and 3 to the over. Detroit 10 and 3 at home, so a very good home team. 13, 10, and 2 to the under. I'm not worried about the total in this game, guys, but once again, we're going to run it back. We're trying to take those Detroit Tigers at minus 120. As long as the weather permits, this game definitely going to end up there in the pinned comment. Next on the docket, the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. Now, the Red Sox come into this game obviously fresh off of having their game postponed as well. So this is another one that we could be looking to just run things back here. Now, the Red Sox come into this game 14 and 13 on the year. They just lost 2 out of 3 against the Mariners, so they're not exactly living their best life right now. They're hitting the ball to Tanner Houck. Also not off to a great start. 0-2, a 7.66 ERA. Now, his last start, he did kind of turn things around. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, but that was against the White Sox and was eventually an 8-4 loss there for Boston. So not a great look there. The Red Sox bullpen also not exactly killing it here in the early goings. Somewhere in the middle of the pack or towards the bottom of the middle of the pack with a 4.28 bullpen ERA. The offense, they've got a lot of bats out there, but the bats aren't exactly doing great. Alex Bregman batting 320 out there, and Trevor Story doing his thing, but over the course of the year, the numbers look good. Recently, they have not looked quite so hot. So we'll see what they can do here against the Guardians, who come into this game 14 and 10 on the season. Now, they did lose their last game against the Yankees, but that snapped a 5-game winning streak. They're going to be handing the ball to Ben Lively, who's 1-2 this year, a 3.86 ERA. His last start, excellent against the Pirates. 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed. And he's been throwing the ball pretty well. He has had a couple iffy starts in there, but overall, very happy with what we're seeing from Ben Lively and very happy with what we see from the Cleveland bullpen. A 3.38 bullpen ERA. Certainly nothing to turn your nose up at. And the offense starting to figure itself out. They scored 1, 3, 6, 5, 3, and 10 runs over their last few games. Stephen Kwan off to a good start. Manzardo off to a very good start this year. And they're currently 20th in the majors in runs scored, but I do think we could see that number get a little bit better. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Guardians at plus 100, the Red Sox at minus 118. We've got a total out there of 7.5. Boston's 6 and 7 on the road, 14, 11, and 2 to the under. Cleveland is 7 and 2 at home, 11, 11, and 2 to the over-under. I'm going to be leaning here towards Cleveland once again at plus 100. Now, it's not a lock to end up in the pin comment. We've got lots of other games today, so definitely going to keep this one on the back burner, but keep it in mind. It's definitely got a chance to end up in there. Next up, guys, we got another day game. We're looking at the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Angels come into this game fresh off an 11-4 loss in Game 1 of this series, so that probably feels pretty bad. Hitting the ball to Yusei Kikuchi in this one, hoping he can, get them back into the win column. Now, he's 0-3 this year with a 3.38 ERA, but he's really kept them in a lot of games. His last 2 starts have looked excellent. After a bit of a rough start at Texas back on the 15th, he went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits and a single run, and then his last time out against the San Francisco Giants went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 1 run. It wasn't even earned. He did walk 4 in that game, but struck out 6, and it was a 5-4 win there for the Angels. So Kikuchi looking pretty good out there right now. That Angels bullpen not exactly trending in the hottest direction. They're currently 3rd worst in the majors with a 5.27 bullpen ERA. So not shocked to see the bullpen struggling there. In terms of the offense, it's been a little bit bleak as well. They've scored 4, 4, 0, 3, and 5 runs over their last few games. Nobody off to a particularly hot start. We'd love to say that, we're seeing a great Mike Trout season coming, but he's batting under 200 this year, and as a team, they're 21st in the majors in runs scored and 28th in batting average. So lots of work to do there. They're taking on the Twins, who also haven't gotten off to a great start. They are 10-16 on the year. They just won game 1 of this series, so I'm sure that's nice. Hitting the ball to Simeon Woods-Richardson, hoping he can do something positive. He's 1-2 this year, a 4.74 ERA, and he continues his trend of not going deep into games like he had last year. Went 4 1/3 innings against Atlanta his last time out, gave up 7 hits and 3 earned runs, and was eventually a 4-3 loss there for the Twins, a team that desperately needs some wins. Now, the bullpen for the Twins has shown some signs of life, a 3.62 bullpen ERA, certainly playable, but I'm not going to throw you a parade for that bullpen. I think they're fine, but I don't think they're necessarily elite. Now, the offense coming off an 11-run game, I'm sure that feels great, but they're still only 26th in the majors in runs scored. They are 27th in batting average. Like, not a lot of positives right now for this Minnesota Twins team. So looking at the numbers, we see the Angels at plus 100 with Kikuchi on the mound, the Twins at minus 120 with Simeon Woods-Richardson on the mound. We've got totals out there of 8 or 8.5. The Angels are 7-8 on the road, 12, 11-1 to the under. Minnesota, a 500 team at home, 13, 9-3 to the under. I think under 8.5 is pretty live in this game. I don't love either one of these starters, but both offenses are really, really struggling, and I think the under is definitely the way you want to go. Would I go no run first inning in this game? Probably not, but I definitely think under 8.5 is super, super live. If you're begging me for a side on this one, I would guess maybe the Angels, but that bullpen's so bad it makes me nervous. So yeah, that's kind of just a guess, guys, but I think the under has some real value. Quick reminder, guys, all of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been off to a crazy, crazy good start. Our premium capper over there has been absolutely on fire, doing way better than I have. So definitely get over there, check out our premium MLB plays on top of everything else. Once you get to StumpTheSpread.com, you'll see our exclusive free picks that are only posted there. Free to use bet size calculators, our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not match what you see here in the video. You also need to sign up for our free email newsletter from Stump the Spread, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every day and updates on our results. Just make sure to check your spam folder. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member each month. We'll be doing our giveaway for this month on May 20th, so definitely get in there. Also, our channel members get early access to our videos, and you get your name up on screen just like right now. Let's go ahead and jump back into the games, and we're going to be looking at the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. The Brewers did let us down yesterday, our first loss here on our dog of the day, but it was a very close one, a 3-2 loss, and they had their chances there late in the game, so just couldn't quite get the job done in the end. They're going to be hitting the ball to Quinn Priester, hoping he can get them back on track. He's 1-0 this year, a 1.93 ERA. He's been dealing so far this season. Great start against Detroit. Decent start against San Francisco's last time out. 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs in a 5-2 loss. Not exactly what they had in mind. I'm sure they're hoping to go a little bit deeper into this game. Now, the bullpen there for the Brewers has been a big problem. A 5.13 bullpen ERA is obviously atrocious. I do think they're a little bit better than that number would indicate, though. The offense has been a problem recently, too. 2-5, 2-11, and 2 runs over the last few is not going to get the job done. Obviously, Mitchell going out with oblique tightness is a tough look for this team right now. Yelich is off to a great start, so that's nice, but they're not looking like a team that really deserves to be 4th in the majors in runs scored. They're 23rd in slugging percentage. So some worries there for the Brewers. Now they're going on the road to take on the Cardinals, who are coming off that win. Newt Barr, Donovan, both looking good in that one. The Cardinals only 11-15 this season, though. They're hitting the ball to Sonny Gray, who's off to a good start. 3-0 this year, a 3.41 ERA. Now, Bro has gotten plenty of run support. In his last start, he went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits and 3 earned runs at the New York Mets. Not a terrible start, but not dominant. He did dominate Houston before that, and in general, he's looked very solid in at least 4 out of his 5 starts this year. So liking what we're seeing from Sonny Gray. That Cardinals bullpen in general, pretty iffy. A 4.94 bullpen ERA, not looking great. The offense, though, kind of still hanging on to life here a little bit. They're currently sitting at 8th in the majors in runs scored and 2nd in batting average. Now, are they going to hold on to that or hold on to being 6th in the majors with a slugging percentage of over 400? Seems like a big ask, but who knows? Maybe it's not impossible. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Brewers are plus 135. The Cardinals are minus 160. We've got a total of 7.5 in this one. Milwaukee 4-9 on the road, 14-10-2 to the under. St. Louis 8-4 at home, 14-10-1 to the over. I think taking the Cardinals here at -160 is relatively live. Priester does scare me maybe just a little bit, but in general, I think the Cardinals -160 is a decent play, but I also think this is a good game to take the no-run first inning. I've liked what I've seen from Priester. Generally speaking, Sonny Gray's been throwing the ball well. Neither offense is necessarily mashing in it, so yeah, I think the no-run first inning in this game is very, very live. Next up, we're looking at the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the Colorado Rockies. The Reds come into this game, they came through for us, guys, so hit that like button. Really appreciate everybody that does that, and show your appreciation for that crazy, crazy 8-7 win the Cincinnati Reds got for us. Put that win on the board. We'll definitely take it. Now, we did see there was a crazy one, no doubt about that, but the Reds playing okay, 13-13 on the year. They're handing the ball in this one to Hunter Green, who's 2-2 this season, a 2.35 ERA. He's in a bounce back spot. His last start, his worst start of the year by far, only lasted 3 innings there at Baltimore, gave up 6 hits and 5 earned runs, including 3 home runs. So just wasn't his day, very, very clearly. Now, Bro has a good chance to bounce back in this one, but he's going to have to figure things out. We're hoping to see, or if you're a Cincinnati Reds fan, you're hoping to see the version of him that went 7 innings, gave up 2 hits, and struck out 8 while giving up no runs against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So maybe a bounce back here for Hunter Green. The Reds bullpen continues to be very solid, a 3.46 bullpen ERA. It's been good over the course of the year, maybe not so much yesterday. The offense has been figuring things out. They scored 8, 5, 3, 3, and 24. That was a crazy day. Runs over the last few games. So not bad. Elly De La Cruz doing some positive stuff, but he's only batting .252. That's not great. Gavin Luck's off to a good start at the plate, and overall, they're a decent offensive team. I'm kind of throwing out that 24-run game, but they're 13th in the majors in batting average. They're 14th in slugging percentage, and they're top 10 in on-base percentage. So some good numbers out there for sure as they go on the road to hit up these Colorado Rockies, who are looking like they're going to be historically bad. They are 4-21 on the year. Just lost their last game. They've lost their last 4 in a row. They're hitting the ball in this one to Antonio Senzatella. He's 1-3 this season, a 4.81 ERA. Now, his last start was a little bit better, but it was against the Washington Nationals. He gave up 6 hits in 6 innings, only a single earned run. Could have obviously been much, much worse. So we'll see if he can pitch his way out of trouble in this one. Might be a little bit tougher to do. We'll see what the bullpen looks like for Colorado. Obviously much better than last year. A 3.99 bullpen ERA, though. Definitely not in the elite category. The offense has been doing some things. I mean, 7, 2, and 4 runs over the last few is better than what we've seen generally. They are still dead last in the majors in runs scored, second to last in team batting average, and 27th in on-base percentage. So a pretty terrible offensive team. Now, looking at the numbers for this one, the Reds are -190. The Rockies are +160. We've got a total of 10.5 out there. Cincinnati 6-7 on the road, 12, 12-1 to the over-under. Colorado 3-6 at home, 15-8-1 to the under. I definitely think under 10.5 is live in this game, especially with Hunter Green on the mound, but I also think this could be a very real spot to make the Cincinnati Reds our lock of the day, because the Reds, they're playing pretty well coming into this game. The Rockies are obviously floundering, and putting Hunter Green out there on the mound against Senzatella, yeah, that is definitely a matchup that's going to favor Hunter Green. So keep an eye here on the Reds at -190 as a possible big, massive, crazy lock of the day. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the New York Mets going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. Now, the Mets actually took the loss there in Game 1 of the series, losing 5-4 to snap their nice winning streak there. Yeah, James Woods, that single scoring C.J. Abrams from first in the 9th inning, pretty crazy stuff. So, yeah, unfortunate ending there for the Mets. They're going to be hitting the ball to Clay Holmes, hoping he can get them back on the right track. He's 2-1 this year, a 3.16 ERA. Nothing wrong with that, guys. He's coming off dominant starts against both the Cardinals and the Minnesota Twins, and I would say 4 out of his 5 starts this season have been absolutely lights out. So expecting good stuff from Clay Holmes here, expecting great stuff from the Mets bullpen, a 2.56 bullpen ERA. Obviously dominant stuff. That is what 4th best in the major. So yeah, we'll see if he can continue, but that can continue. But the Mets looking pretty good here. Obviously in need of a little bit of a bounce back, but this offense has been excellent. Pete Alonso is still batting .333 with 6 home runs and 26 RBIs. Nothing wrong there. They're tied for 16th in the majors in runs scored, but they're 8th in slugging percentage. So some positives, and they've scored 4, 4, 5, 5, 7, and 3 runs over their last few games. So the Mets come into this series cruising, hit a bump in the road in Game 1. The Nationals probably pretty happy to get that win. They've actually won 3 out of their last 4. They're handing the ball in this one to Brad Lord. He comes into this game, has yet to figure in a result. He's made 3 starts this year after beginning his season in the bullpen. His last time out, he went 4 innings, gave up 5 hits and 2 earned runs at the Colorado Rockies. in what was a 3-1 loss against the Colorado Rockies. So not exactly a starter that I have tons of faith in. And that Washington Nationals bullpen, guys, has been a problem. They are dead last in the majors, a 6.89 bullpen ERA. Frankly, pretty embarrassing stuff. So we'll see what happens in this game. I'm not necessarily expecting miracles here from Washington, not even at the plate where they've been a little bit better recently. Still 16th in the majors in runs scored and 19th in batting average. Obviously, getting a CJ Abrams back is helpful, but I don't know if that quite puts this team over the top. Looking at the numbers, the Mets are minus 180 here. The Nationals are plus 150. We've got a total of 9.5. The Mets are 6-7 on the road. They are 17-8-1 to the under. That's an MLB best mark to the under. Washington 8-5 at home, 13-12-1 to the under. Right off the bat here, guys, maybe you could talk me into the under. I think we'll see Clay Holmes have a very good start. Now, Brad Lord in the Nationals bullpen doesn't really get me too jazzed up. So maybe look at the under in this one, but I think this is an excellent spot to look at the Mets here at minus 180 or possibly at minus 1.5. You could talk me into that one as well. But the Mets here at minus 180, in a bounce back spot, I would say they've got a very real chance to end up being our lock of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. The Phillies took the 4-0 loss there at Wrigley Field in game 1 of this series. They're down to 13-13 on the year, so definitely floundering. Handing the ball in this one to Jesus Luzardo, who's 2-0 this year, a 2.08 ERA. He's been throwing the ball fantastically well. His last start was against Miami. He did give up 8 hits and 2 runs, but only one of them was earned, and it was eventually an extra inning loss there for the Phillies. So not really his fault, but yeah, some unfortunate stuff there. He's been pitching well this season, though, no doubt about it. So pretty much expecting good stuff here from Luzardo. We'll see what happens. Now that Phillies bullpen, a big reason for their struggles here, guys. They are second to last in the majors with a 4.55 bullpen ERA. That's pretty scary stuff. And the offense, not nearly good enough to deal with any of that. They've scored 0, 3, 1, 4, and 5 runs over their last few games. Nobody off to a good start. They're 12th in the majors in runs scored, but 22nd in slugging percentage. I don't really care that they're third in on-base percentage, guys. They are not moving people around the bases right now. So it's not looking good for the Phillies here as they go on the road to take on the Cubs, who are 17-10 to start their year off to a flying start. They're handing the ball to Ben Brown, who's 2-1 this year. The young 25-year-old doing his thing, 4.57 ERA. Not exactly lights out this year, but his last 2 starts have been lights out. He went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, no runs, struck out 5, and walked 0 at the Dodgers not too long ago. That was that 16-0 win there for the Cubs. And then his last time out, 4 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run there against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, he was having control issues in that game. He walked 4, but he also struck out 6. So maybe he was being effectively wild, you could say, but really liking what we're seeing from young Ben Brown in this one, this season in general. Now, the Cubs bullpen is a whole nother situation. A 4.96 bullpen ERA is obviously not great. I don't think the bullpen's that bad, but it's not looking good. The offense, on the other hand, though, has been insane. They're first in the majors in runs scored with 163 runs here through only 27 games. That's kind of nuts. They're first in on-base percentage, they're first in batting average, and they're second in slugging percentage. I don't know what to say, guys. The Cubs are an offensive powerhouse. They're just that good. So we'll see what they can do here. I mean, they scored 4, 7, and 11 runs over their last few games. The odds makers have this game as a coin flip with Luzardo on the mound. The Phillies are minus 110. The Cubs are minus 110. We've got a total of 7 out there. The Phillies are 4-9 on the road, 14-12 to the under. Chicago 9-3 at home, 16-9-2 to the over. That's an MLB best mark to the over. Guys, I think over 7. Super reasonable in this game. The reasoning behind that is not so much to do with these 2 starters. It's more to do with these 2 teams' terrible bullpens and this very small number. Now, I haven't checked the wind out there in Chicago. If it's blowing in aggressively, obviously don't mess with trying to take an over in this game. But if it's not, maybe over 7 is very, very reasonable. In terms of a side, I'll lean towards the Cubs simply because they're at home and home teams have been dominant this year in the MLB. But right now, I think the over is the better play. Rolling right along, guys, we're looking at the Texas Rangers going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Rangers come into this game 14-11 on the year, and they're currently still playing right now. Now, the Rangers are up 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning, so looking pretty good to eventually come away with that win. We'll see if they can make it happen. Some good news for us coming away with a win. It got real sweaty there at the end, but we will take the 6-5 win there for the Athletics as our lock of the day there for Friday. So definitely lock it up, take another winning day, put it on the board for sure. Now, in terms of this Rangers game, they're going to be hitting the ball to Tyler Mayhill. He comes into this one 3-0, a 0.68 ERA. Bro has been dominant. He hasn't given up an earned run in 3 out of his 5 starts this year, and he's never given up more than 1 earned run. Yeah, pretty much lights out. Cy Young candidate kind of stuff right now, no doubt about it. Now, will he be able to keep that up over the whole season? We'll have to wait and see. It's not looking impossible. The bullpen situation for Texas is not terrible, a 3.64 bullpen ERA. The offense is what has held this team back from having a great start. They're looking pretty bad at the plate. 28th in the majors in runs scored, 29th in on base percentage. Got to figure out something at the plate, and they're going to be missing Corey Seager here for a bit as well. So a lot of offensive woes there for the Rangers. They're going to be going up against the San Francisco Giants, who are 17-9 to start their year. They just won 3 out of 4 against the Brewers before starting this series, which what looks like is going to be a loss. We'll see what happens. They're hitting the ball to Robbie Ray in this one. He's 3-0 this year despite a 4.07 ERA. Now, he's had some very good starts in there. His last time out went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits and 2 earned runs against the Brewers. And overall, like I said, he's had some good outings this season. He's had, 2 starts where he gave up 1 earned run, 1 where he gave up 2. So, yeah. Also, worth noting, guys, Bro gets that run support. The Giants are 5-0. 5-0 in his starts this year. So, looking at Robbie Ray here as a positive, and a huge positive is that Giants bullpen. Second best in the majors, a 2.53 bullpen ERA is crazy. The offense has been decent, but maybe not elite. Looks like they could get shut out in their current game, but they are 5th in the majors in runs scored and 15th in on base percentage. So you can kind of see they are a team that's probably going to normalize a little bit at the plate. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Rangers are minus 105. The Giants are minus 115. We've got a total of 8. The Rangers 4-8 on the road, 17-8 to the under. San Francisco 7-3 at home, 16-9-1 to the over. I think this is a good spot here to just go ahead and back the team that just lost, or is probably going to end up losing there in game 1. I think we see the Giants bounce back a little bit here at home. They're a very good home team. I know Mayhill's awesome, so this one's not going in the pinned comment. This is more an indictment of that Rangers pretty mediocre offense. Now, I do think this is a sneaky no-run first inning spot, potentially with Robbie Ray, even with Robbie Ray on the mound, but really, guys, nothing from this game is headed to the pin comment for me. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. The White Sox and Athletics just ended their game 1 of this series, and we had the Athletics as our huge lock of the day, which improves to 4-0 thanks to a very wild ending there. We'll take it. We'll definitely take it. The Athletics end up salting away the 6-5 win. So, yeah. It was scary, guys. Don't get me wrong. It was scary. We'll take it, and we'll also take that like. Very much appreciate if you toss us a thumbs up there. But liking what we're seeing from the Athletics recently, not so much the White Sox, who are 6-19 on the year. Handing the ball to young Jonathan Cannon, amazing name, but not amazing numbers this year. 0-3, a 4.81 ERA. He had a good start against the Athletics as the last time he faced them, though. 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 4, walked 2. Eventually, though, we saw the White Sox lose that game 3-1. So, not going to throw the kid a parade yet. We'll see what the White Sox can do in terms of their bullpen. It's been better than last year, but still not very good. A 4.48 bullpen ERA. And the offense, better than last year as well, but still terrible. Second to last in runs scored instead of last, but last in batting average and last in slugging percentage. Not going to dive too deep in the White Sox. They are real bad. They're taking on a Sacramento Athletics team that's playing much better than you would expect a displaced team with no home to be playing. They're up to 12-13, or maybe that's 13-13 on the year now. Handing the ball to Jeffrey Spriggs, who's 2-3 this year, a 5.64 ERA. His last start, he got shelled there at Milwaukee. Now, the last time he faced the White Sox, he got 12 runs of support in a 12-3 win there for the Athletics, but he gave up 3 earned runs over 5 innings and a home run. So not super stoked about him. This is not a game that's going to end up in the pin comment or in the lock of the day, I'll tell you that. Now, the Athletics bullpen has been middle of the road, a 4.00 bullpen ERA, not great, and obviously not a great night for the bullpen out there in this one, but the offense, extremely respectable, guys. 4th in the majors in slugging percentage, 7th in batting average, 13th in runs scored, but that's a number I expect to get better and better here as the season progresses. So looking at the numbers, the White Sox are plus 180. The Athletics are minus 220. We've got a total of 9 out there. The White Sox are 2-11 on the road, 13-10-2 to the under. The Athletics are 4-8 at home. That's an MLB worst mark at home. They are 11-10-4 to the over. I'm not super interested in this game in general, but if you're begging me for a side here, give me the White Sox at plus 180 as a huge underdog. That's not, I don't think, a great one. But with Jonathan Cannon showing solid numbers against them the last time these two teams faced each other, and the last time these two teams faced each other, we saw, the White Sox had their chances in a couple games. Maybe this could be a chance for them to get one over the top. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Astros come into this game 13-12 on the year, fresh off of losing Game 1 2-0 there at Kansas City. They're going to be handing the ball to Framber Valdez, who's having a rough year. He's 1-2, a 4.50 ERA. Now, his last start was a little bit better. He went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits and 2 earned runs. It was eventually a 3-2 loss there for the Astros against the Padres. So, not a great day. We've seen him put up some big strikeout numbers a couple times, but not recently. So, definitely plenty of reason for concern here for Framber Valdez and Houston Astros fans. That Houston bullpen, though, looking excellent. A 2.53 bullpen ERA. No problems there. Now, the offense has been a problem, guys. They've scored 0, 3, 5, 7, and 2 runs over their last few games. They're currently 15th in the majors in batting average, 23rd in runs scored. Nobody off to a great start at the plate, really. Jose Altuve has been leading the team in batting average, and he's batting all the way down to 282. He's been slumping a bit recently, so not a lot of good stuff right now going on for the Houston Astros as they head to Kansas City to take on the Royals, who've now won 5 in a row. They're up to 13-14 on the year. Handing the ball in this game to Michael Wacha, who's looking for his first win of the year. He's 0-3 with a 4.15 ERA. Now, his last start, though, was very good against Detroit, or at least very serviceable. 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, but 2 earned runs allowed is all. He struck out 5, walked 0, so the control is definitely coming back, and we liked what we saw from him against the Yankees and the Twins. I would say over his 5 starts this year, 4 of them have been very, very reasonable. So I'm not down on Walker like a lot of people are right now. That Royals bullpen, definitely solid. Much better than I would have thought they would be this year, a 3.45 bullpen ERA. Nothing wrong with that. The offense also has been doing some good stuff, guys. I mean, they scored 2, 6, 7, 4, and 4 runs over their last few. Bobby Witt Jr. all the way up to batting 320 on the season. He's been doing his thing out there. A crazy, crazy hitting streak going on for him. And yeah, despite the fact they're 27th in the majors in runs scored and 26th in batting average, I do think that their offense is headed in the right direction. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Astros -138, the Royals +120. We've got a total of 8 out there. Houston 4-6 on the road, 15-8-2 to the under. Kansas City 10-4 at home, looking like another season where the Royals would be excellent at home. They are 17-9-1 to the under. So you can take under 8 in this game. I don't have a problem with that, especially with the big trends that we're seeing right now. But I think the Kansas City Royals out here at +120 has an excellent, excellent chance to end up being our dog of the day. Now, guys, skipping out on a couple of the late Major League Baseball games, we got to cover a 4-game NBA slate. We got 4 NBA playoff games out there that we are very, very excited to look at. And first up, we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers going on the road to take on the Miami Heat. That is a noon Central Time tip there over on TNT. So very excited to see what will happen here in Game 3. The Heat finally at home. And yeah, it hasn't gone great for them in the early goings in this series. They lost 121-100 in Game 1, then followed up with a slightly more respectable 121-112 loss there. So yeah, not being able to get the job done in Cleveland yet. In Game 2, we saw very good stuff from Tyler Hero. He put up 33 points. 18 there from Davion Mitchell, who's playing big minutes and looking very, very good there. He was in the starting lineup in Game 2. Bam, Andrew Wiggins, neither one of them coming up big there. And the bench, actually excellent. Haywood Highsmith putting up 17. Jovic putting up 11. You can't ask for too much better than that from your bench unit if you're Miami Heat. So to lose that game has to be pretty disheartening. The Heat come into this one in terms of the injury report looking fully healthy. We won't see Terry Rozier or Kevin Love, but those aren't meaningful pieces for them at this point. The Cavaliers have to feel pretty good about how Game 2 went. Obviously, nothing out of the ordinary for them. A massive night from Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland doing his thing, putting up 21 points. Evan Mobley bouncing back in a big way, something I think we predicted. I feel like I'm pretty sure that's a real thing. Maybe I'm making it up. Let me know in the comments if I'm making that up. But I think I predicted Mobley to bounce back. He put up 20 points, also had 6 rebounds, and 12 points off the bench for DeAndre Hunter, another guy that was in need of a bounce back. So we'll see what the Heat can do in this one. We'll see what the Cavaliers can do in this one. They come into this game in terms of their injury report. Darius Garland is on there. He's technically questionable for this game due to a left great toe sprain, but I'll be pretty shocked if we see him sit this game out. So looking at the numbers for this one, the Heat getting 5.5 points at home. We've got a total of 213 out there. Cleveland 26-15 against the spread on the road. They are 53-31 to the over. That's an NBA best mark to the over. Miami 21-20 against the spread at home. 47-39 to the over. Guys, in terms of a side here, I guess give me the tiniest of tiny leans towards the Heat at +5.5, just given the narrative of how these series are usually going. I think this is going to be their best chance to possibly steal a game, but I really just think we want to slam it here on over 213. That's going to be definitely going in the pinned comment. I think it's excellent value. I think we see plenty of offense in this game. Lots of perimeter scoring, and that is going to mean plenty of points because neither one of these teams are very good defensively and definitely not on the perimeter. In terms of some player props for this game, first up, I like Tyler Hero over 25.5 points. Looked like Cleveland couldn't really guard him in game 2. Now there's a bunch of trash talk going on between him and Garland. Garland and Donovan Mitchell, not defensive stoppers. They're going to end up on him at some points in this game. And yeah, I think we'll see Tyler Hero probably eclipse that 25.5 point mark. I also think we'll see Donovan Mitchell score over 25.5 points because just like that, on the other side of the coin, the Heat don't play that great of perimeter defense anymore. Even if the Cavaliers have a down game, he's going to get his points. Donovan Mitchell, very likely to end up with at least 30 in this one. Once again, kind of seems like Bro's doing that every night in the playoffs. And right there, guys, with them, I like Tyler Hero over 2.5 made threes. If he's going to put up a bunch of points, he's going to make some threes. Feels like a lock to me. He's going to shoot a bunch of them, and knocking down 3 isn't a stretch for somebody that just went 4 of 11 from 3 in game 2. And now he's going to be back home shooting on home rims. That should certainly help. Next up, we're looking at game 3 or game 4 here, actually, between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the Thunder came away with a 114-108 win there in game 3, and it was a crazy come from behind win. That was pretty bonkers stuff. They really just turned up the intensity. Ja Morant gets hurt in that game by what looked like a very dirty play there from Dort, but once you look back, Bro clearly slipped. Probably didn't even know that Ja Morant was behind him. It still looked really bad, and I don't know. We got to do something about this because we can't have guys getting undercut like this. That what happened to Jimmy Butler and what happened to Ja Morant can't be happening all the time. Just something has to change. I'm not sure how you avoid it, but that can't be happening. That's terrible. So hopefully Ja will be okay in terms of the injury report for Memphis. We'll dive into that in a minute, but the Thunder come into this one obviously looking like monsters out there. They played really well there in game 3 down the stretch. We saw Chet Holmgren knocking down a bunch of shots. We had him over 1.5 made threes in that game. Cha-ching, that one cashes easily. We have 24 for him, 26 for Jalen Williams, who continues to show that he can produce in the playoffs. 31 for SGA, a monster game for him, but we did hit the under on SGA's points there just by a very thin margin. We also saw very good bench play, double-digit scoring from both Caruso and Isaiah Joe. So liking what we saw from the Thunder for sure. They come into this game with no major health concerns to take on a Grizzlies team who definitely does have major health concerns, guys. The big one is Ja Morant, and I'll be honest, it seemed extremely unlikely to me that he would play in this game. He's listed as doubtful here for game 4. So we'll see what happens, but I can't hardly imagine Bro going. I mean, he was on crutches. So I'll be shocked if we see him come back. It didn't look good, and without him, the Grizzlies, they're gonna have a rough time. It's just not. They're not designed to really work that well without Ja. I know they played a lot of games this year without Ja, but in the playoffs, it's a different situation. Jaren Jackson Jr. played well in that loss there. We saw Scottie Pippen Jr. play really well. He put up 28 points in the loss, but the bench isn't good enough, even with Santi Aldama making shots. We saw Memphis get off to a crazy start. They scored 77 points in the first half, and it just didn't end up mattering in the end. So, yeah, not great there for Memphis. They're not going to be at full strength for this game, but they are used to playing without Ja, so something to take into consideration here when we see the numbers. And the Grizzlies are 15.5-point underdogs at home. We've got a total of 222.5. The Thunder, 25-14-2 against spread on the road. They're also a significant over team. Memphis, 22-21-1 against spread at home, 48-39 to the over themselves. I don't hate over 222.5 in this game. Memphis can still score the ball. The Thunder probably not going to be super locked in, knowing that the Grizzlies, A, are basically eliminated from the series, and B, if they lose, they can just go home. I don't think the Thunder are going to lose this game, but I think they win it probably by single digits there in the end. I think the Grizzlies and the points and the over are both reasonable, but not pinned comment worthy. In terms of some props for this game, a couple that I think could be pinned comment worthy. I like SGA under 31.5 points in this game. He went nuts in game 3, helped with that comeback, but still only had 31. I don't see him getting over that number here in what's likely to be a game where either the Thunder don't care or they win by 40 plus, and SGA doesn't really play the whole game. So that's my lean here on SGA's prop. I like Isaiah Joe here over 6.5 points. He had 10 points in 15 minutes in game 3. I think in a close closeout game here where Memphis isn't probably going to have Ja, he should get plenty of run, and he can knock down some shots and get into 7 points. Not that hard. I also like Chet Holmgren under 9.5 rebounds. He only had 8 boards in game 3. I don't expect him to really get any higher here in game 4. I generally think this is going to be a game where the starters don't play their full minutes, either if it's a blowout or because it's a game they don't care about and they're happy to just finish the series off at home. So if his minutes end up dropping, this becomes a fantastic spot. Next up, guys, we're looking at what was supposed to be a really good series here between the Denver Denver Nuggets and the LA Clippers. Now, the Nuggets got blown out in Game 3, losing 83-117, and all of a sudden that Game 1 win is starting to look really, really fluky. We saw Jokic go out there and put up a triple-double, and everybody's talking about how bad Jokic played and how, maybe SGA should be the MVP and all that kind of stuff. Crazy talk. Guys, what is he supposed to do out there? He's getting nothing from Michael Porter Jr., who's apparently injured. Jamal Murray, 8 of 15, 1 of 4 from 3, 23 points. That's not going to be enough, and they're getting nothing from their bench. So not a lot of good news there for Denver in terms of their injury report. It looks like Russell Westbrook and Michael Porter Jr. both pretty banged up. Westbrook with that foot is questionable, and Michael Porter Jr. with that shoulder injury is also questionable. So if they both play, are they going to be at 100%? Seems like no to me. The Clippers are probably loving life right now. Kawhi, Harden, Norman Powell all played great in the win. Batum and Derrick Jones Jr. knocking down shots off the bench. The Clippers are absolutely cruising. They look like they have for sure control of this series. They also come into this game fully healthy, which is a big reason they're 6-point favorites. We've got a total of 212.5 out there. Denver 20-22 against spread on the road, 49-36 to the over. The Clippers 29-13. Crazy against the spread at home. That home court advantage there is pretty nuts. They're 44-39-2 to the under. No real lean to me on the over-under here, but I'll take the Clippers at -6, and I'll say thank you. I think they're going to win this game pretty convincingly. Now, maybe once this thing shifts back to Denver, we see the Nuggets get another win in this series, make it a little bit more respectable, but I'm not holding my breath for that to happen either. I think Denver's in pretty bad shape here, so I will certainly take the Clippers. In terms of a prop or two for this game, there wasn't a ton that really interested me, but I think Kawhi under 25.5 points is live. The Clippers played great in Game 3. I expect them to play very well here in Game 4. That means Kawhi doesn't have to do too much out there. He's going to not be pushing the envelope if guys like Harden and Powell are playing well. Kawhi not one to try to do too much, and I think this is a great spot for him to let others thrive before he tries to maybe take things over in Denver. I also like Zubac here under 12.5 boards. He only had 9 rebounds in Game 3, had to play 40 minutes to get to 12 plus in Games 1 and 2, or right around 12 plus in Games 1 and 2. So I think Zubac under 12.5 boards, certainly a prop that is worth a look. Last but not least here, guys, by far, we've got the Houston Rockets going on the road to take on the Golden State Warriors in Game 3. The series is tied up at 1 game apiece. We saw Houston come away with the Game 2 win. So yeah, good stuff there for Houston, but it was a weird game, guys. No doubt about it. It was certainly a weird game. They end up winning 109-94, but we saw all kinds of weird stuff happen. The Rockets get a transcendent game. 38 points there from Jalen Green. How often do you see that? Bro went 8 of 18 from 3. Was a plus 19. Just not something that's really part of his existence. We'll see what the young guy can do in this one. We'll be looking at him in the props here in a minute. But most importantly in this game, aside from the Rockets getting the win, was Jimmy Butler getting injured. Now, you can look at a lot of different angles and see a lot of different things. It feels like you're going to see whatever it is you wish to see in this one. Now, there are angles where it really looks like Amen Thompson did not get pushed and kind of just like flopped underneath of Jimmy Butler. Seems unlikely to me, but also if you look back through his history in the NBA, there's been some kind of sketchy looking plays. We'll see, we'll see what goes on in this game, but overall, going to be a chippy game, going to be an exciting one. Very excited to lock in and watch it, obviously. Now, we'll see what Amen Thompson can do in this one. We'll see if Dylan Brooks shoots the ball well. The Rockets shot almost 40% from 3 in Game 2. Now they got to figure out how to do this thing on the road. The Rockets, luckily enough for them, after a very rough series, they come into this game fully healthy. The Warriors, probably not stoked with what went on in Game 2, I'm not going to lie. Now, Draymond, a pretty bad game. Curry putting up 20 points on kind of limited touches. He also had 9 assists, but nobody really there to help him when Jimmy went down. 12 points from Moses Moody, 12 points from Quentin Post. Pajemski was dealing with an illness. He was not himself out there. 0 points in his 14 minutes and was 0 of 5 from the field. He was battling out there and just gave it all he got. It just didn't end up working out. Overall, the Warriors come into this game, I'm going to guess that they are going to be effectively fully healthy. Now, we see both Jimmy Butler and Gary Payton on the injury report. Now, Jimmy Butler, he's dealing with that pelvis and deep muscle contusion. He's going to play, and he's going to be Jimmy Butler in this game. I have very little doubt. Gary Payton, questionable due to a right shoulder strain. I expect Gary Payton to also play in this game, very, very likely. So they'll be at full strength, maybe a little bit banged up. The Warriors come into this game as 3-point favorites. We've got a total of 203.5. Houston, 22-17 against the spread on the road, 44-38-2 to the over. The Warriors, 18-23-1 against the spread at home, 43-42 to the under. Guys, I'm going to take the Warriors here at -3. I think it's pretty reasonable in this spot. I don't have a big lean on the total. There's been some rock fight games in this series, so staying away from the total, but definitely angling towards the Warriors here at -3. In terms of the props for this game, I like Jalen Green here to come back to earth. I'll take him under 20.5 points in this game. Huge letdown spot. Not going to shoot the ball like that again maybe in his entire life, but definitely not here in Game 3 on the road in a playoff series. I also like Steph Curry over 26.5 points. He had 31 in Game 1. Jimmy coming back is a huge deal and will help take attention off Curry, who's going to go ballistic here at the Chase Center as the Warriors take control of this series. And I also like Pajemski here to bounce back a little bit. Got that apparent food poisoning out of his system. I'd take him over 2.5 made threes in this game. He went 3 of 8 from 3 in Game 1. Now going back home to the Chase Center, I fully expect him to have a great night, knock down a few threes, and be a big part here of a significant Warriors win. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get over to stumpthespread.com. Get on that free email list. Check out all of our premium picks and stuff like that over there. Let me know in the comments if you're enjoying our lock of the day and our underdog of the day. Hopefully, both of those bets have been treating you guys as well as they have been treating me. Overall, it's been a really great time. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to get over to stumpthespread.com by clicking the link in the description, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.